Okay, Amelia asks, I'm not sure if you've seen Bernie Sanders' statement on Russia-Iran sanctions, but I'd love to hear your take. Depending on how new this is, I may or may not be hip to this, but yeah, let's go ahead and do this. This is an older one, but let's dissect this. This is from June of 2017, but Amelia has asked for my take on it. This is the Sanders statement from 2017 on Iran and Russia sanctions. I am strongly supportive of the sanctions on Russia included in this bill. It is unacceptable for Russia to interfere in our elections here in the United States or anywhere around the world. There must be consequences for such actions. I also have deep concern about the policies and activities of the Iranian government, especially their support for the brutal Assad regime in Syria. I've voted for sanctions on Iran in the past, and I believe sanctions endanger the very important nuclear agreement that was signed between the United States, its partners, and Iran in 2015. That is not a risk worth taking, particularly at a time of heightened tension between Iran and Saudi Arabia and its allies. I think the United States must play a more even-handed role in the Middle East and find ways to address not only Iran's activity, but also Saudi Arabia's decades-long support for radical extremism. Okay, so Bernie's take on all this. This is Bernie Sanders, by the way, that I was reading. Bernie did vote against those sanctions at that time. He was one of two people to vote against them, him and Rand Paul. I am not in favor of escalating every tension with Russia. I'm not for that. Also, I am very concerned about the Red Scare that's going on. You guys have heard me talk about that time and time again. The deep state has used this as a way to go after independent media, as you've seen with RT America and other outlets. They've used this as a way to create a new Red Scare. They've used this as a way of distracting from what's really wrong with our system. This is McCarthyism. The whole Russiagate is New Age McCarthyism. And as Cody points out, in Sanders' State of the Union response, he was saying that Trump is a Putin puppet. And look, this has nothing to do. Andrew points out, Bernie talking about Russia made my heart sink. Mine too, Andrew. Mine too. I was very disappointed by that. Was I shocked? I wasn't shocked. Bernie is going to be playing the game a little bit until 2020 because I think he plans to run in 2020, and I think he plans to run as a Democrat. I think the Russiagate verbiage in there, if you saw, Cody says, I thought he was above that BS. I want him to be too, Cody. I really do. But I don't, I'm not shocked. I think he knows, he has to win over some of those people. And he is playing the game because of that. And it doesn't make me happy at all. I wish that wasn't the case, but I'm not shocked. Disappointed? Extremely. Shocked? No. And overall, I thought his response was good. I thought a lot of the issues he harped on was good. What I would have really loved is instead of the Russiagate section, he would have substituted that section instead for a section on foreign policy and a section on ending the wars and investing that money back home. That's what I really would have loved to have seen instead. So I guess getting back to this, it's hard for me to see Bernie parrot the Russiagate thing. It really is. And again, this has nothing to do with, I mean, keep in mind, because I have this argument all the time, like, well, why is Trump and his friends acting shady if there's nothing to hide? Because there is stuff to hide. They're shady oligarchs. They participate with other shady oligarchs. Some of them are from Russia. It's normal white-collar corruption. Yeah, they're probably going to find money laundering. And yeah, that's corrupt. Certainly. Trump's not acting like some innocent party. But is this worth a 24/7 distractathon? No. Is this worth avoiding talking about actual policy because you'd rather talk about Russia 24/7? No. Is this worth the Democrats not having any policy alternatives to Trump? So when he spews out bullshit at the State of the Union, there is no opposition whatsoever because they've done no opposition research. They've proposed no alternative policies. Instead, they're just yelling Russia 24/7 to distract from the fact that they are a dead party in the water. I mean, just read between the lines. And yeah, having a Red Scare and a New Age McCarthyism with another nuclear power ain't good. And these people like, oh, well, it's metaphorical. We don't actually want conflict with Russia. And these are all talking points people on the quote-unquote left have given me, by the way. We don't want an actual war. We're not talking. Gee, I'm sorry that I don't take my war metaphors lightly when I live in a country that's involved in fucking 8 of them. 8 of them. I mean, what the fuck? We're the left. It's metaphorical war with us. Shut up. So yeah, it's hard watching Bernie engage in the Russiagate nonsense. And it is nonsense. We're going to find out Trump's a shady oligarch that had money laundering and some other shady business deals, and some of the people were Russian. Did any of you need a 1.5-year investigation for that? Any of you? I didn't think so. How do 2 parties illegally continue war? Because we're too busy talking about Russia. That's why. When we do the same thing to other countries and our own. Yeah, exactly. DC points out he's a corrupt businessman and politically clueless, period. By skirting omission and guilt, he can distract endlessly. Yeah, and by the way, that's another fun point. Saki points out something important here. Whenever it's Russia, 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 Trump's numbers go up. Rachel Maddow's not helping. These people on the left that are kind of acknowledging that Russiagate's kind of like hysteria, because it is. But then they're saying, yeah, but it helps our cause. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. His numbers go up. When people were hammering him on the AHCA, his poll numbers plummeted like a motherfucker. When they are Russia, 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 you piss off his base, his numbers go up. DC points out he's at 42% right now. You know why he's at 42% right now? Because he gave a State of the Union where there was no opposition policy being thrown out there because the Democrats haven't done it because they talked about Russia nonstop. In conclusion, Russiagate helped Trump get to 42%. It helped him succeed at a State of the Union that was bullshit, that was substanceless, and that was a war rally. He succeeded at that nonsense State of the Union where he spoke for about 8 minutes, proved that he couldn't even read, and clapped every 5 seconds. He gave a speech that an 8-year-old shouldn't be proud of, yet it worked. Why? Because there's no frickin' opposition. The response speech was a bunch of nonsense from a corporatist big pharma shill that talked about nothing for 20 minutes and had drool all over his face. I think he had the drool all over his face because he just got his paycheck from Big Pharma and he was excited about it. But let's talk about Russia some more. And yeah, that was a very disappointing segment in Bernie's State of the Union response. That was very disappointing. Compared to the rest of them, he knocked it out of the park. If you would have substituted that Russiagate nonsense for some policy, some foreign policy talk about ending the wars, I would have given him an A+. But, he got a B. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in.
If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.